function, notation, domain, and range. Okay? Out of those three things, function notation is probably the most difficult to grasp. It doesn't mean it's a difficult concept, but sometimes for some people it is. We start off really easy. We learned last week that when we have functions, we have two variables, right? So I'll start off with a really easy one, like y equals x plus 3. Real simple, right? And we learned that in this case, see if you remember this. Who's the independent variable? Who's the dependent variable? Okay.
X is the independent variable.
Very good. X, independent. Y is dependent. Now let's take it a step further. Who remembers this? Is y a function of x, or is x a function of y?
Y is a function of x.
Ooh, I'm impressed. I am impressed. Okay. So y is a function of x. Okay? Y is a function of x. What does that mean? That means if we draw a table with x and y, we're going to pick any three numbers for x, right? And then we plug it in to see what y would be. Make sense so far? Yes. Make sense?
Yes.
You pick any three numbers you want for x, because x is independent. You plug it into the equation, and you find out what y is, because y is dependent on x. Y is a function of x. Make sense so far? Okay. So, another way of writing this equation is in what we call function notation, which instead of writing a y, they say f of x equals x plus 3. Raise your hand if you've seen that before. Okay. F of x equals x plus 3. All this means is a function of x. Because we said y is a function of x, right? So instead of writing y, you can write function of x or f of x. You never hear anybody say function of x in math. They always say f of x. It's like the shortcut abbreviation. Okay? So these two mean the same thing. If you see this, don't be confused. It just means pick three numbers for x. You do the same thing, find out what f of x is. Make sense? So instead of having this, your table would say x and f of x. You pick the same three numbers, you get the same three answers. Make sense? Really, really easy. Okay? Now, we'll take it a step further. If you say, same problem, if I ask you, what is f of, we already did 2. F of negative 1. Instead of writing x there, I put negative 1. If you see that, you know what they're asking you? To put a negative 1 where the x is. Okay? So what's negative 1 plus 3? 2. So the f of negative 1 equals 2. And if you wanted to write this as like an ordered pair, you would just write negative 1, 2. Negative 1 is what you plugged in for x. 2 is what you got for f of x. 1 to 5. 1 is I'm lost. 5 is I got it.
I got 2.
2, 4, 3.
All right.
5, 10.
I'm going to point at something.